But that's another way too. Like it shakes the shows up a little bit. You take them, because AJ has carried that show, but what else is left for him to do on that show at this point?
Mm-hmm.
He's been U.S. champ. He's been the world champ. Was it twice now?
Yeah.
So what is there really left for him to do on there? You stick him with a tag team partner. You just lose AJ that by putting him in a tag team partnership at that point.
Yeah.
So then now it's time you just time to bump him over to Raw. Now, whereas Finn Balor, he seems very lost in the shuffle in Raw. Him and the Bray feud could have been good, but it just turned out it flopped so bad. It was written horribly, and then once they did the Sister Abigail thing and it was Bray, you fucking killed it. Like you just it could have been good and you killed it. And Balor just seems so lost in the shuffle there, and Vince is never going to use him right. Whereas I think he'll be a much better fit on SmackDown. There's more guys. A little bit more his styling that he could work with, that I think will be a lot better. I could see a really good really good match with Sami Zayn. I could see a really good match, obviously, with him and Kevin Owens and a couple other guys. A Balor and a Rusev match would be pretty fucking good, I think, with this to see and everything like that. So, and again, him and Nakamura, obviously they'll slam it up.
Rumors that people have been saying is possibly EZ3 for some reason.
Who the hell's that?
Ethan Carter III.
Ethan Carter III. He was like one of the biggest names on Impact. The funny thing is he was a WWE developmental guy that didn't make it, and he made though Impact is not huge, he himself turned out to be like huge for TNA for himself. He repackaged himself. He did everything. He actually did become a bona fide star, bigger than the company. And he's done with them, and he has signed with them. He is rumored to be a surprise for the Royal Rumble. And I think he'll get a decent pop. He's obviously not going to win.
No.
He's not going to win, but I think he's going to get a decent pop.
I think they should put him at NXT first, because, one, I don't think he's that big for WWE yet, but also, will they give him the name? Keep the name, you know what I mean?
The thing is, that's because TNA is now allowed, ever since they've lost this whole thing with Matt Hardy, they're letting people take their names and their gimmicks, whatever we want to do. So, oh boy.
I just got to bring something up right now. Because Brad just went, EC3 won't debut because no one knows him outside of the internet. No one outside of the internet knows who the fuck the Bullet Club is either. No one outside the internet knows who the club is either. So, I mean, that really doesn't matter at this point. I'm not anti the club. We've had this discussion before. Yeah. I am not anti the club. But let's be realistic here for a second. Gallows and Anderson are only there because they wanted to pop the Smark fans. They aren't doing shit with them.
They wanted to jump on the cash cow.
They're not going to do shit with them. And to be perfectly honest with you, if it wasn't for these smart internet fans, they wouldn't be there right now to begin with. Okay? And as far as bringing anybody up and call-ups, it sounds like a great idea right now in theory, but those call-up guys are going to get lost in the shuffle because right now there is no room on either roster.
And they're not doing anything with the rosters that they currently have.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone wants these people brought up or wants these people signed and brought in, and then when they get brought up and brought in, the first thing you hear people say is, they're not using them right. Well, this is WWE. What'd you expect?
Yeah, because, like,
they're so high on their Romans and their Rollinses that they're not going to give some random guy a shot just because he's great on the fucking indies.
Like put it this way,
reality.
Like, how honestly, how much have they really done with Bobby Roode since he's come up?
Just now with the U.S. title,
and even still, it's still not even that. It's just it seems like, okay, Bobby, here you go.
Yeah,
it's a consolation prize at the moment. Bobby, here you go. Nakamura was the biggest fizzle, not him, but Nakamura was the biggest fizzle bring up that they've had. Like, they didn't do shit with Nakamura.
They brought him up because they knew if they didn't, he was going to leave. But the thing is, there's no room. There's no room for these guys right now, unfortunately. There's no good storylines to put them in. You know, everyone wanted the Ascension to come up. They came up, they fucked up. Look at where they're at now.
And the funny thing is, they didn't fuck up. They just did what they were told.
I know. You know, everybody, loved Tyler Breeze in NXT. They brought him up. They didn't have anything for him. What else is new? There's no room. Look what he's doing.
Yeah. See,
there are so many. It's unfortunate, but it's a business at the end of the day. You know.
See, that's the thing. Like, Tyler Breeze was supposed to be this great talent from NXT, and he was. But at the end of the day, Vince is still the guy in charge of both shows.
Yeah.
And Vince still sees the big guys, unless you are special and unique, like AJ Styles. If you want to dial it backwards, like you're special and unique, like a Shawn Michaels, like a Bret Hart, like guys that size have to really stand out and have tremendous ability in Vince's eyes to be even noticed. Otherwise, he's always going to go with the Roman Reigns. He's always going to go with the Braun Strowmans and the Brock Lesnars and things like that, you know? Those are the guys he's going to go with every time. You know, Seth Rollins may not be seen in that light, but Seth Rollins' physical and stature is a little bigger than AJ Styles and guys like that. He is bigger. He's that mold of the type of guy that he wants to push.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's just be, again, speaking realistically here, because this is why people hate me. The only way any of these people are going to get a great push or getting great storylines is when Vince is dead.
Yeah.
Okay?
Ty Dillinger, another one that came up and had mediocre spots. Ty Dillinger, it seemed like it was kind of a mercy bring-up. He'd been in NXT for so long. He'd been in developmental hell for so long, so it's like, all right, just bring him up at this point. And it was just kind of like a mercy bring-up, in a sense. They haven't done anything with him. Now, Rob Zukowski, do you think Neville returns?
Yeah, that's another
I
rumor,
think it's a positive. I think with, and I'm not getting into the fucking story.
Yeah.
I think with the release of Enzo, it's possible.
Yep.
But also, here's the other thing, too. There was talks if Neville came back, it wouldn't necessarily be really a 205. They would actually pump him over to SmackDown.
Take him away from the Cruiserweight.
Because also, at this point, Neville has done his duty for 205 Live. Yes. Yes, Enzo brought ratings. He wasn't the greatest 205 Live talent, but he did bring ratings. People watched it. He brought ratings.
205 was suffering.
It was suffering, but people watched it. But Neville did carry that division on top of his back while simultaneously reinventing himself, giving himself a character that got over and everything like that. And he did it on his own. He did it great. But now it's time. He's bigger than the 205 Live division now, and he's. I think if you put him on SmackDown, he should flourish well. And again, could you see a Neville AJ Styles match? Fucking A right, I can.
Yeah.
Could you see a Neville Nakamura match? Yes.
Yep.
Neville Kevin Owens? Yes. Like, he bumped himself up. Like, when he was on Raw before making that heel turn, he was just like that mid-level guy. But when he turned himself into that heel persona, he upped his value as a worker. He definitely upped his value in terms of a potential spot. So I would like to see Neville come back because there's been he's not been released. There were talks at one time and everything like that. This could be the prime time to bring him back. And I think it would get a great reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's see what else we got here. Vince likes his monsters. Oh, yeah, everybody knows that. Vince has always liked his monsters.
Vince is old school.
Vince is old school. Yep, he's always liked his monsters. Anybody else got any other predictions outside of what we've said or anything like that? In terms, I'm thinking Balor. I definitely don't see. Yes, we all know Roman's gonna get the title match, but I don't see. They're not gonna fucking make because I think Philly will lose its fucking mind if they put Roman over, and everything like that. Let's see. Anybody else?
I don't know.
Well, what are your insights? I know we've had predictions or whatever, but just your insights in general, because I know you like to piss people off.
It's not that I like to piss people off, it's just people don't like hearing the truth, and they get pissed off. There's a difference. There's an absolute difference.
Who wants Foxy to shed the bit of truth?
I mean, what more can I say other than, I mean, at the end of the day, whoever's going to win, you guys aren't going to like it. It's an honest. That's my most honest answer at this point. Whoever's gonna win, no one's gonna like who the winner is gonna end up being. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's either going to be an absolute fan favorite, or it's gonna be someone that makes absolutely no sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at the end of the day, it's business. You know. These guys can get, called up, or these girls can get called up. And that's probably the only thing you're going to see from them. You might see them on Raw and SmackDown for a week or two afterwards, and then that's going to be it.
Yeah.
So if you really, really want someone to come up, don't really want it. Because
it's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Don't say who's your favorite.
Yeah.
Don't ever say who's your favorite out loud.
And Margaret just said there'll be a riot if Roman wins. Yeah, there will be.
Rob just said, because Rob said there will be a riot worse than when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl in 2005.
But you know what? Everyone will still be watching Raw that next day.
Just to see the fallout.
Okay. Again, compare it to Game of Thrones. You gotta leave shit on a cliffhanger. Or something so bad happens that you have to tune in to see what the fuck happens next. If Roman wins, everyone's going to be watching Raw the next day. It's going to be one of the highest Raws to see what the hell he has to say, to see what it's going to lead up to, and just to hear the crowd boo at him. And that's smart business from a television standpoint.
Controversy creates cash.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the way we look at it.
If it's a matter of, well, nobody wants to see that, well, yeah, nobody wants to see that. But we're all paying for it anyway. No, nobody wants to see Roman win. Well, we're not the ones writing it.
Yeah.
You know, we're paying to see what you're going to bring to us. If they make Roman win.
I mean, at the end of the day, we've all said it. The two that deserve it, I think, is everybody's hearts and minds is Nakamura and Balor.
Yes.
They're due.
Yeah.
They're beyond due. I'm going to stick with either one of them, too. Mm-hmm. And then keep fingers crossed. That's all I can say. Just keep fingers crossed. I mean, but at the same token, it's other than a Roman Reigns thing, because Roman will always get a put. And it's, again, I don't dislike Roman Reigns. I honestly, I've said it multiple times, and I'll go on record. I don't care who disagrees with me. This is me. Roman Reigns does not get the credit he deserves as a worker.
Absolutely not.
He's a tremendous fucking worker. Does his mic skills need work? Yes. And I've said they should have freaking heel turned him and put him with Paul Lee a long time ago. He's the guy to get him over. But in-ring wise, Roman works his ass off. And it's not just a matter of people who just carry him, because I've heard that say, oh, it's a matter of... No, it's not. He himself works his ass off. Finn Balor did a mini shoot interview, and he said, you know, I kind of thought the same thing about him too, and then I got in the ring with him. And he's like, let me tell you, Roman is one of the hardest hitting, but also one of the best guys I've ever gotten a ring with. And as I was working him, I was surprised at how good Roman actually is. Roman is a lot better of a worker than people give him credit for. It's just his personality and his mic skills lacking, which is why people don't really like him. But at the end of the day, his matches are always 5 fucking star matches. Because the John Cena thing is now falling into... The John Cena hatred is... He still gets the boos and he gets the John Cena sucks. Yeah. But if you notice, it's... Roman's is a legitimate hatred.
Yeah.
Whereas the John Cena's ones is almost a respectful way where it's falling into the Kurt Angle, you suck. Like, you do it with a smile on your face.
Maybe for those people, I still hate them.
It's a love-hate relationship. You know, you respect Angle and like that, and he loves it. He's like, hey, because even John Cena, when they start doing when they boo him and they say John Cena sucks, he comes out smiling and he loves it because it's like, that's yes. He's like, yes. And it's falling into that. Whereas Roman is a genuine hate. They genuinely hate him.
But I mean, just think of it this way: when it comes to wrestling, there's the heels, there are the faces. You're supposed to feed into that, right? Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to, feed into the storyline and the character and everything. And, people these days, they think they're way too smart to do any of that. I'm way too smart to feed into any of that. I know better. You ever think just for a second that's what they are expecting from you? That they're making him the top goody two-shoe guy that you hate in school and you hate him now? Don't you ever think that maybe that's the same exact thing? So technically you're still, again, feeding into the product and feeding hook, line, and sinker, dude. Yeah.
Cena's another one that falls... Yeah, I love Cena. Cena's another one. People knock him, but you know what? He also will put on 5 stars. He he keeps what he does limited. He can do more, but he keeps it very